What's up everyone, Alpha Soul here with another video. Today we're just going to do a quick summary of my testing findings from the past week. There was another test and we actually got to do a lot of good guild versus guild, or sorry, not guild versus guild, but siege testing, right? And we got to go through and play that. And this was actually my first concerted time since Siege has been through this kind of iteration. There was another internal testing quite a while back that was there, and not the same thing, but it was nice to see it kind of integrated within this. So yeah, so I just wanted to kind of cover with you guys some of my notes that I took. So first, they got some new hair models in for the Veyloon. Now, this has actually been in there for a bit, so I figure since this is my first time kind of doing this type of video, I'll just go ahead and mention it. But some of the new character models are slowly beginning to improve, and you get to kind of see it. So they look a little bit better than they had before. They still only have like the Veyloon, the Kalar, the Dwarves, and I'm forgetting what the other ones are. But yeah, that's the typical lineup right now. Oh, the Elves. Yeah. Let's see. They added animations during quests, and what I mean by that is now when you used to go through before, you used to just kind of go and kind of click E through quests, go through the text and then accept it, and you see a little thing pop up. Now I'm noticing they started adding different hand motions and character motions as your character is talking to an NPC, which is pretty cool. It's still very early iteration, but it's there. Like, for example, if you accept a quest, at one point I had accepted a quest from a military officer, and my character did a salute to that military officer, or at least I think it was a salute. I'll have to take a look back. But yeah, the animations are definitely there, and they're in, and it's really nice. The cool thing is I actually am liking some of the text quest or info, or sorry, the text of the quest information that are coming in. Now, I know it's placeholder, it's not going to be what's there for final, but I do like the direction that they're headed in with this particular portion. Now, I have to say, I am heartened by the fact that I do see that they're going in a little bit direction. So what I mean by that is early on when we were discussing Assets of Creation, one of the things that I saw that had come up, and I'm not sure if it had come up from Steven or Jeffrey or some of the others, but it was a mentality that, they didn't want the quest to hold your hand or something like that and kind of go through. One thing that I've been maintaining, though, is there's a difference between not having the quest hold your hand and just having a bad questing interface. So what I mean by that is you could technically get really lazy and just, have a text completion thing and, force somebody to go find the information for the quest elsewhere or figure it out somewhere on their own. And that is one way. But if you have it as just like plain text like that, your quest system simply is going not to be fun, right? With voice activated quests, it's a different story. Or with something that's a little bit more active, it's a different story. But if you just have text and you're expecting players to go through, read it through, figure out where they're going, once upon a time that might have worked. I don't think that works in today's day and age. So it's nice to see some of these features being added for text, for quests. For example, now there are locations that are highlighting, like the general area of where something is for the next step of a quest. There are little markers that they're experimenting with, so that when you click on the quest, you kind of see the marker kind of go through. So I'm interested to see where they end up with it, but it is nice to see some of those improvements. In general, the good thing was they made the gameplay a little bit less annoying, which is nice considering they have weekly tests at this point. And what I mean by that is, like, some of their quests were like kill 10 animated armors, I think is the first one, for example, and you'd get a set amount of EXP. Now they dropped it down to I think it was 4 or something, which is just far less annoying in general. So you don't need to go through and kill 30 to figure out if the quest is working. If you're trying to get up to a number, that's a certain amount. So I applaud them for that. Thank God they did that, because it was getting really just cumbersome going through for some of those quests. But it's good that they lowered the number. And across the board, they seem to have made it a little bit more much more worthwhile to complete quests and go through and level, which again, this is probably not going to be their level cadence, but at least for testing purposes, it's just not as annoying to go through. I know I was starting to get a little bit tired of that, and I would just wait for Steven to log in and potentially give everyone a boost to the level before we get onto the main leveling. So that was a welcome change to kind of go through. It just annoys the bejesus out of me when some developers make it really hard to level within their alpha where we're supposed to be testing systems. If you're more concerned with the interaction, yeah, I can kind of get it, but at the same time, you don't want it to be annoying for players. So that's pretty much the main thing. We got to moving on to the actual testing. We did actually get to play against one another in the siege testing, which was really fun. There was this huge red dragon that was there that we started off trying to kill. I chose the side of attackers, which turned out to be the wrong side to choose just because we were outnumbered maybe 10 to 1. It was kind of ridiculous at how many people we had to face for it. So we actually got pushed back to our spawn point at one point. But I had to exit out of the test, so I'm not sure if they evened it out at any time before that. But that is pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how they're going to handle a mass amount of imbalance, right? And what I say by that is, one approach is that, hey, the imbalance is what it is, right? If you have more people, then you have more people, and you can go through. But I'm curious if that's going to actually hold, because it can get not fun really fast if you're too imbalanced all the time. But at the same time, you want a big guild to be able to utilize its strength, right? So I'm almost more in favor of having like a set. I know they've discussed this before, but I'm more in favor of having a set battle time where you can choose your 100 players maximum or something like that, whether it be 100, 200, or whatever it is that you agree to, and go from there. Even if that number's high, that's perfectly fine for me, as that gives the attacking or defending team time to recruit or time to bring in other people to bolster their numbers to hit that number. But if you have too many scenarios where it's just wildly out of balance, I think that might reduce things in the long run. But, we'll see how they handle it. It's up to them. All right. So that's my thoughts on testing. Just real quick thoughts. I'm still actually viewing the AMA since I didn't get a chance to go through it. And then I'll give you guys my thoughts on that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. Alpha Soul out.